What's going on, guys? Dave here, and welcome to Level Up. I just saw Captain Marvel. So, if you haven't seen it yet, there may be some super minor spoilery type stuff, but I want to talk about the movie because it's good. It's just genuinely a good time. Let's get into it. The most likable characters in the whole movie aren't who you would expect. Uh, Captain Marvel is likable. She's believable and you really feel for her. But there comes a twist and a turning point, like 2/3 of the way through the movie, that just. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I don't want to go into details, but the way the movie is filmed is incredible. The visual effects are done really well. They're not so over the top that it makes you feel like anything's out of place. There's nothing in the visual effects or anything else that breaks the suspension of disbelief that this is something that is actually happening or could actually happen. And the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been, as a whole, really good at that. But there have been times where it's a little jarring. Most of those are due to technological limitations. For instance, in The Incredible Hulk, the textures for the Hulk and Abomination aren't anywhere close to what they are now. But you look at one of the newer ones, since technology has improved significantly since then, everything's on par, everything's on point. It's a good time all the way through. And there are several characters that you really feel for. And there are several points where you just change sides. I don't know what else to say about the movie without giving a bunch away. It's good. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go, if you have the ability, go see this movie. Go watch Carol Danvers and how she becomes Captain Marvel. Now, here we get into some nitty-gritty, nitpicky stuff that, again, might be a little spoilery, but I'm trying to critique the movie objectively. All of the visual effects are good. However, I feel that she poses a lot. And they're all very stereotypical superhero poses. And there's one, sometimes it feels like in every scene, or multiples in scenes. Like they pulled them right off the cover of a comic book. It's a comic book movie. You expect a little bit of that. But I feel like there's way too much. Agent Coulson and Samuel L. Jackson both, they made them look younger for the movie because it takes place in 1995, is where the core of the action of the movie takes place. I understand the need to do that. At the same time, while Samuel L. Jackson looks flawless, through the whole movie, there is something off about Coulson when you look at him. It's just not quite right. It's like Henry Cavill not shaving his mustache for Superman. You don't necessarily know, oh, that's all CGI right in through there. You just know that there isn't something quite right. It doesn't look quite natural. And I don't know how they would fix that, or if they even could. And I love Coulson. He's one of my favorite characters in the MCU. But anytime he was on screen, I felt slightly uncomfortable for no real reason because I couldn't pinpoint any one thing that was off. Like I said, I'm nitpicking here. The backstory comes in bits and pieces, which is fine and it's well executed. But I feel like some of the flashback scenes are a little choppy and, dare I say, seizure inducing. It feels harsh. And I think they did that to make you feel what Carol was feeling during those flashback sequences. But it's, again, it's that whole, there's nothing really wrong with it. It's just, it makes you uncomfortable and it leaves you with questions. They all get answered, but it leaves you with questions. Now, for you die-hard comic book fanboys out there, they change her backstory. They've done that with a lot of the MCU characters. And I feel like there's minor backlash about it every time. I feel like it's a change for the better because it adds to and increases the continuity of the MCU and everything fits, everything meshes, it's done beautifully, and they justify her not being around when the Jatari attacked New York in the first Avengers movie. All of these gripes aside, and again, nitpicking. It's nitpicking. But I would give this movie a solid like 8 out of 10. I mean, I would put it visually, I would put it right there up there with Thor Ragnarok because I loved the visual style of Ragnarok and this is very different than that, but it gives you that same, yeah, this is super cool, especially towards the end. I do want to mention, and this is a hardcore spoiler, but it's not about the plot. At one point, her suit changes colors, and it's all neon, stripy, and insane. And I hope to see that again because it was awesome. They could have stuck with that one. I would have been happy with it. It's so out of character for Captain Marvel, but you know what? I don't care. It looked great. If you have a chance to see the movie, you should probably check it out. It's definitely worth watching. And if you can see it in theaters, I'd recommend it because it's one of those movies that I feel like watching it for the first time on the big screen in the movie theater adds something to the experience, which can't be said for all movies. You guys are awesome. Never stop leveling up.